Fort McKay First Nation says it's been a leader in oil sands development for decades, but it just can't support the latest project. The First Nation is battling for treaty rights, asking the Court of Appeal to turn down Prosper's Regal project. It was approved by the Alberta Energy Regulator last year. In court Tuesday morning, the chief said they don't want to scrap the project. They just have a better plan, one that will protect First Nations in the area.
The plan would make a 10-kilometer zone around Moose Lake reserves where development could happen in a managed way. A way that cuts down the impacts of development and protects the land and its inhabitants.
The chief says there are 16 ongoing energy projects surrounding the Fort McKay First Nation. He's calling on the Kenney government to step in and put an end to their court battle. Danielle Smith from Global News Radio 770 CHQR joins us this morning to continue this conversation. It is one that began for you yesterday, Danielle.
Yeah, and it's sort of a full court press. I've been surprised to see how active the band has been in trying to get their position out. They're even doing advertising to try to get the public on board with this Moose Lake plan. So we're going to talk to the other side today. We're going to talk to Prosper Energy, the proponent of the project, to understand why it is impossible for them to accommodate what it is that the Fort McKay Nation wants. I mean, it sounds on the surface to be very reasonable that they have initially had quite a wide zone that they didn't want this kind of intensive development in. They've narrowed it. And it just so happens this is the one project from Prosper Energy that still falls within. And so the question would be, does it make the project unviable? Is it too difficult to get all of the additional piping going to the facility if it was moved in a different direction? Do they not own any leased land anywhere else? Is this the only place it can be sited? Is it just too costly? These are the things that we're going to try to get to the bottom of today to find out why they have such a strange impasse. Again, it's one of those things with Fort McKay is the kind of nation you want to keep on side with energy development because they have been so supportive of it and benefited so much from it that it just seems strange with all of the ways in which they've been able to accommodate so many large projects across decades that they're having such a problem with this one. So still don't know all the answers, but we'll get closer to it today.
What role do you think the Alberta government would or should play in this?
Well, the Alberta government has a role in approving the leases in the first place. And so if, for instance, they made an error in allowing Prospect to have this lease land in the first place, maybe they have to do a swap so that they can move the project to another place. Or they have to make a choice to tell the nation that they're not going to protect this land. Like they have to make a decision one way or the other. They either have to identify areas of no-go so that oil companies don't bother wasting their time bidding on leases that they can never develop, or they have to say every place is a go zone and then end up fighting it out in the courts. So I think there is a role for the provincial government to play here, but I want to understand a little bit more about what it is that the industry, in this case, this particular company, is willing to do to accommodate and why it's been so difficult so far.
You can listen to Danielle show starting at 9:30 on 770 CHQR. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.